Hello Internet, Jason here again, and today what we're going to do is a little different than stuff that I would normally do. We're going to do a review on the SuperCarver 1000 milliwatt small frame laser engraver. Now I picked this thing up last week off eBay for $63.87 shipped to my door. Shipped on Friday, I got it Tuesday. So anyway, it's here. I played with it a little bit yesterday and did a few samples. I did some plastic, did some cardboard, did some leather on my wallet. It works pretty decent. There's obviously a little bit of a learning curve, but it's not huge. The software is a little clunky, but part of it might be my computer. It's given me some Microsoft Net framework errors when I try to do certain features. So it's not the end of the world, it still works. Go ahead and mention a few things that I've noticed about it. Basically, the laser focus seems to be everything. Whenever you put a different height object in there, you need to refocus the laser to get that pinpoint, super burning ring of fire. So anyway, you got to make sure the laser's focused, otherwise you got nothing. The software, it doesn't really have a high, low, medium quality setting. Really the only adjustment you have is the burn time. It can go from 1 minute up to 250 minutes. But I noticed that the timing isn't quite in sync with the machine, I suppose. It kind of all depends on your design. So I kind of wonder if this 250 minutes is based on if you were to just do a completely black square, that would probably take 250 minutes, but I find that if your designs have a lot of empty non-cutting space, they'll typically cut a lot faster than this timer tells you they will. For instance, you know, I did a lot of burning on say 60 minutes, and some of my designs only took 30. So there's a learning curve, and I find that you definitely need to put on your laser safety glasses. Boom. They come with it, which is nice. And you gotta watch what you're doing, and you gotta actually see it burning. Otherwise, you're not gonna have anything. So anyway, I'll go ahead and show you the machine here in a bit. I'll do a couple clips of it actually running some things, and show you the samples, and then show you the software, and just kind of go from there. So anyway, I'm kind of hoping that this is going to aid me in making some neat Christmas presents for my family this year. Every year I generally end up making this stuff because I guess you could say I'm cheap, and generally I make some pretty cool stuff and people always like it. So this year I'm trying some stuff that I've never done. You know, obviously this SuperCarver thing is new. I just picked it up, never used one before. I'm hoping that I can use it to make stencils, to do some electro etching. So anyway, we'll show you some clips and whatnot, show you the software, and then tell you what I think about it. Okay, so here is the SuperCarver. You can see it's fairly small. It's probably only, oh, I don't know, 6 by 6 or so. The base table moves in the Y-axis while the laser itself moves in the X-axis. So there it's in its theoretical home position. So I'll get this set up with something to do, and then we'll show you the software. Okay, you can see that I got some blue painter's tape in there. kind of centered up, and I've got it off the table with these two little pieces of wood that came with the machine. What I had found is if the tape is on, say, the metal, it will just burn the tape. It won't burn through the tape, if that makes any sense. So that's kind of the little trick that I figured out here. These are all the pictures that came with the software, so you can just load one of these up and run it. That's not really what I'm looking for here. I'm making some necklaces for Christmas, so let's do this unicorn. Just drag this over here, drop it in, boom. Okay, so you got the drag and drop. You know, if your image is a grayscale, you can do gray. It supposedly will do gray fairly well. Let's see. So I'm already in the center. If you click Carver Range Preview, that will basically show you the preview of where it's going to be doing its work. So I'll click go to Image Center, and then basically you just click Start and away it goes. I've already focused the laser for this, so that's one thing you got to remember to do is whenever you're changing the heights, you need to refocus your laser to have a fine pinpoint so it actually does the burning. Down here in the bottom corner, you can see the burn time. This is set for 100 minutes, but I don't think it'll take this long. I found that even though it says 100 minutes, it kind of depends on your design. It may only take 30. For instance, the last thing I did, I started at 140 and had dropped it down to 100, so it took 47 minutes. So anyway, we'll go ahead and hit start and let this thing roll. I'll stick these glasses on there. I don't know if that'll make the view any better or not. But anyway, and you can see the smoke rolling off of there. So and you can see there's a line here. That's your progress. This thing will move down as it cuts. So anyway, I've been running this thing for a little over 6 hours now and I haven't had any issues, so far so good. So here's a couple sample pieces that I have done. When the machine showed up, they had this little guy in it. It looks pretty decent, so I assume that they decided that it was passable. I did these two. The first one there on the left, the laser wasn't quite focused and the burn time was too low. This one here on the right, I focused the laser and raised the burn time. And you can see on the bottom, say 1/8 of an inch there, I was playing with the burn time just to see if I can make it go faster without losing the quality and whatnot, but I decided that I didn't need to finish it. This is a screen protector for an iPhone. Basically, I want to say it's acrylic, but I really couldn't tell you. But anyway, that burned pretty decent. And then I got my wallet here. This is your standard leather bifold wallet. It's about a year old, but the JacFab there in the center, that actually burned twice in about 15 minutes a piece. And the other two I was just playing with different speeds to see how fast I could get it to go. I'd show you the wood that I burned, but it's in the carver right now for one of the standoffs, I guess you would say, for the tape, so it can burn through. So real quick here, I'm just going to show you guys this.
which will hopefully be my stencil. And I'm hoping this will focus, but as you can see, there's some pretty fine details there, and the camera doesn't really do it any justice, so I think this will work. I had already burned one stencil out, which you guys didn't see. It's basically a pair of sunglasses with a big beard, but it's got, I used the same kind of swirly, you know, backgroundish image on it, and so this one actually is straight off the etching, and it's not perfect, but it's surprisingly good. The painter's tape didn't quite hold up as well as I was hoping it would, but it did a pretty good job, so I'm thinking this is a usable piece, and I'm just going to throw it in the tumbler tomorrow, and it's probably going to look pretty good. So anyway, just wanted to show you guys that. That's what I bought this thing for, and I think it's going to work out okay. So I may play with some different tape, or maybe some spray paint or something, but so far I'd say this is a success.
Alright, so that's it for the SuperCarver. Is it worth 63 bucks? Yeah, I think so. And, you know, it's going to take some playing with it to figure out what it can do and what it can't, and how to make it do what you need it to do. So, you know, I had to do a little bit of experimenting to get this thing to work that I'm trying to do, and I think it's going to work okay. You know, I might need to play with some different tapes, or maybe some vinyl, or some spray paint or something for my purpose. Anyway, the other thing I wanted to tell you guys real quick was early on in the video, my first laptop died. The battery died because the battery doesn't charge as fast as it gets used. So anyway, I switched to a different laptop, put the software on that, still have the same software issues, so it's got some software problems. The enlarge and shrink features are kind of built into the software, and every time I try to use those I get an error and it won't let me do it. So oh well, it's 63 bucks. It does everything else fine, it works. The other thing I wanted to say is I had that unicorn stencil set to run for 100 minutes and it only took 31, so keep that in mind. Just look at what you're doing, make sure the stuff's burning, and if it's burning, then it's working. So, you know, I might do an update video here in a couple weeks or a couple months or something as I find other uses for it, and let you guys know how it's still working. But anyway, thanks for watching today. If you liked this video, feel free to like and subscribe to the channel. I do a lot of random things, machining, building stuff, and whatnot, so artsy-fartsy stuff. Anyway, thanks for watching today.